multiple housing units. That seems to be a problem happening all over, whether you're for or against that. You should be aware that it's happening. There is Senate Bill 149 that has been filed. It is a broad preemption bill. This is where it states that cities cannot regulate commerce unless state law allows. This would, if passed in its original form, would eliminate home rule charters. Basically, we wouldn't be able to do anything we feel like are important to our community because you could just validate everything in commerce. So certainly a bill to watch, Senate Bill 149. Take a look at House Bill 1246 with its companion Senate Bill 369. There will be a automatic disannexation for any areas that a city fails to provide municipal services by. Municipal services would have to be provided by December of 2023, and if not, there would be an automatic disannexation. Still very fresh, we'll see what happens. Let's move on to taxes. In taxes, there is a movement to again limit the appraisal cap to something that's less than taxation in our state without having to disclose the sale price when filed with the county clerk's office, and there's a bill there to eliminate that. That's been happening for years, but it seems to be getting closer and closer to the final approval. House Bill 550 on its front under taxes is involving the hotel motel occupancy tax, known by many as the hot tax. This one on the onset is just requesting that hot tax be allowed to be spent on parks that are near hotels or motels. But you gotta read more of the fine print, and when you look at that particular bill, it's actually the hotels and motels trying to use hot tax money to be used only within hotels and motels for parks. That's how these things can get a little tricky, especially. Let's move on to election and dates. House Bill 187 and House Bill 863, they're trying to make a movement for all elections to be moved to November. So there wouldn't be like 2 uniform election dates, but just 1. In fact, if they get that passed, it looks like that House Bill 455 and 827 would also be authorized for the city to move all elections from its May to November. Those could move together or they could go independently. Does that make sense? Okay, all right. So let's talk about some other just random things. House Bill 1132. Gosh, I remember, cities can have to do competitive bidding, and they don't have to competitively bid for anything that is less than $50,000. Back when I first started as a lawyer, it was $25,000. I'm told that it hasn't been changed to $50,000. That was 17 years ago. So there's a move to move that competitive bid line. You don't have to competitively bid for anything under $100,000. We'll see how that goes. I can see that there's definitely fors and against that, especially when it involves small businesses. House Bill 170 and Senate Bill 175. There is another bill, again presented like it was in the last legislative session and the time before then, to eliminate lobbying of cities. In other words, cities would not be able to lobby with the Texas legislature, nor could they participate in any organization that hires lobbyists. So there seems to be a movement to sort of isolate cities from their voice, indicate when their elections should be held, mandating how they can spend hotel motel occupancy tax money, disclosing what their house sales are, eliminate even possibly zoning from single family homes. I will tell you on the good front, there is a lot of money coming down. There's about $3 billion, not million, $1 billion worth of grants coming in through the Texas Comptroller's Office for broadband development. So we need to be on the lookout for broadband and how that impacts our area and what grants the money we can get so that we can be able to have internet and website access to all of our community. Quick overview of the 88 Texas legislators and what cities are currently expecting. This is a movement. This is changes on a daily basis, but I thought that the community might appreciate where we currently stand and to be on the lookout for certain major issues.
Now, we're gonna go to the city manager, which is discuss and consider adopting a citizen participation plan for the city of Aransas, Texas, general land office, community development, block grant mitigation method of distribution program.
Mayor and Council, we have a representative with Grant Works here tonight to talk about the reason for this. And there's another item to follow up on at a later meeting, I understand, in agreement form. But Natalie, if you will introduce yourself and then talk about what this concerns.
I'm Natalie Ekstrom with GrantWorks. I'm gonna be your grant writer for your mid-mod allocation that is coming down for the applications due February 21st. What you have before you tonight is just a citizens participation plan. It's just a requirement of any CDBG grant. We'd have to do it every time you go out for a CDBG grant. And it's just basically that will accommodate everybody in the community, give them an opportunity to put any input in on the application. If you give any input here at the city, of course, us at GrantWorks will take care of all of that for you. And that just basically sums it all up for you.
Natalie, do they need to take action on that?
You just need to adopt it. You just need to adopt the citizens participation plan and then have the mayor sign. And then we'll be set.
So we need to make a motion. Okay, make a motion to adopt a citizen participation plan for the city of Aransas Pass, Texas General Land Office, Community Development, Rock Recreation, Investigation. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We're to consider an act on Marcy Bandera, grants coordinator, to submit an application to the 2023 TPWD Recreational Trails Grant Program.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So tonight I'm looking at, submitting to the Texas Department of Wildlife and Department, for a recreational trails grant. This grant, we're looking at the, 200 block of East Johnson, which is back in and around the aquatic center. It has a ceiling of $300,000, but we are looking for something that to submit an application because there is a 20% match on this grant. So if we went up to the ceiling, which would be 300,000, which would put us at probably a mile of recreational trail, we'd look for about $60,000 in that match.
Thank you. It's a fabulous idea.
Absolutely.
Yes. One that we've been working on for quite a while, so that's very much needed, absolutely. So I'll make a motion to allow Marcy Gandera, grants coordinator, to submit an application through the 2023 Texas Parks and Wildlife Department Recreational Trails Grant Program.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And now we're gonna go to Development Services, which is consider an act on approved a lease agreement with the Aransas Pass League.
Good evening, Mayor. Basically, every contract has to come to the city to get basically approved. We are doing this contract a little differently. Usually we do a 12-month lease. With Little League, this one we're going to do a 3-month lease. Basically from March. Hello, everyone. The reason why is because, we're gonna begin construction on the new concession stand in June. So that's why we're cutting them off, so we can actually have the flexibility to be able to do the construction. The reason we're not starting to March, because next council meeting, I'm trying to plant the seed in your head now, but next council meeting, I'm gonna bring an agenda item to see if we can demolish the open concession stand before the beginning of the season. You know, I had gone with the girl, I was gonna see if we can come up with a different package, to see if we can get a demolition package going. But Sid said he wants to demolish it in-house, so I said, okay, fine, Sid, we'll just demolish it ourselves, so, February 6th, I'll come forward, see if I can get an action item from you guys to demolish that building, and so then we'll take action during the next day.
Okay, so looking at demolishing the building before the season.
Yes, before the season starts. Yes, we have a lot of, issues with the building now. Besides, that's pretty unsightly, so we're trying to get that demolished. We're gonna get some porta potties, and we're also gonna get a concession stand that's, on a trailer, so we can actually have a portable concession stand. So,
Maybe this is not the right to ask, but the design for the Little League, have we been presented to the council?
No, it has not been presented yet. We won't break ground until June, so we're still in the design phase, so we can, hopefully by March or April, we'll have the final design for you guys to look at.
I move to approve lease agreement with the Aransas Pass Little League.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now we're gonna go to consider an act on approving a change order for Vester Contracting LLC for an additional 14 calendar days for the Highland and Johnson Greatest Improvements Project at no cost.
So, last council meeting, we have brought the recommendation to add 30 days in the contract for rain days. So they're asking for another 10 days due to rain for December. So the 30 days for rain were for November. Now I'm asking for 10 days for December, which we're fine with. The public works is actually asking for additional 4 days so we can have time to do the final walkthrough afterwards without having to come back and have to do another change order for that. So, that's what that is for, just for an additional 14 days. Give them 10 days. Their contract actually ends today, so the 10 days will be up to the 27th, and then the other 4 days will be for the final walkthrough.
I have a question in regards to this.
Yes, ma'am.
I know, I live right in the corner in that area right there. Is there, because I know people are starting to drive down that street, even though there's barricades there.
Mhm.
And a lot of, they're trying to go around Mechanical, around the blocks, and they're driving on my property and the neighbor's property. Is there any way they can extend that even more to block Mechanical from them going into Johnson?
Well, the contractor here, do you understand what she's?
Yes.
saying? Would you mind, maybe answer the question? These are representatives from Western, maybe they can, answer the question.
Mayor Council, we can extend the barricades out further to try to keep, we had them covered all the way across the road and people were still driving across. So I don't know whether we put something into the yards or something that maybe they won't do it, but they're gonna be paving tomorrow, so after tomorrow, there shouldn't be an issue.
I just didn't know if the 10 days were going to keep people from driving, because I know they're,
No, like I said, we'll be paving tomorrow, so after that, we'll be good. If they can drive, we'll probably be taking them down tomorrow anyway,
Okay.
at the end of the day.
okay. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve the change order for Lester Contracting LLC for an additional 14 calendar days for the Highland and Johnson Drainage Improvement Project at no additional cost.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now we're gonna go to consider and act and approve the change order for Max Underground Construction LLC for an additional 30 calendar days for the 13th Wilson and Nelson Drainage Improvement.
Okay, so this contract, you'll see a negative change order in terms of dollar amount. So we're actually getting some credit back, so this change order is gonna bring it down to negative $16,546. Basically, these boxes were designed for the project, but as we expected, the existing boxes, they were in great condition, so we actually removed them from the project and we got some credit back. But on the other side, the contractor is requesting an additional 65 days to finish the project. Again, I'm bringing forward my recommendation, which is 30 days. That is the amount of days we allowed the previous contractor was 30 days from November. And I told them if they want to get the other 35 days, they're welcome to show up and take their case to convince you to get some additional days. But, Mr. Russo, can you know, come up? Oh, Denise?
It's Denise, yes.
She was Max Underground.
Denise with Max Underground Construction, we're asking for an additional 35 days due to the fact of weather issues. Whenever we did some change orders, we had to wait for material to come in. Whenever the material did come in, later on during the month of October, received another change order. So the boxes do take time, anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks to come in. So that delayed our process by a lot, just to start on the project. Also, when we weren't starting, we had come into a meeting in here and they had advised to start after the school had started, the school year had begun. So that was just a little bit more delayed. So that's why we need an additional, 35 days.
This is, a change order for 30 days.
So they're asking for an additional 35 on top of that. Yeah, and
I
that,
want her to make sure that she understood that, that's why.
Yeah, and that's why I'm asking for an additional 35, but it was just to justify like the rain days, that's so, we can work on those Thanksgiving, holidays, things like that. That's why we don't work on those, that's why I'm requesting just a little bit more time to make sure everything comes out perfect for you.
the 30 days does include the rain days already, but I can't vouch for the, yeah, I can't vouch for the start of the day, because I think they were gonna begin construction August 15th, but because of the opening of the first day of school, we pushed them back to the 22nd, so those 7 days I can vouch for you.
Yes, our end. So it was taking a while, and of course, the need for the school. And then in between the project, in the middle of the project, we noticed that there was some discrepancies. So we got with the engineer, got that fixed, but we had to order different size of boxes, and of course, that takes a couple of days or a week or two to get that done as well. And we have emails from the vendor showing, this is when we got it signed, this is when we have it received. Just to kind of,
I want to go to read the background so we can have a full picture of what's happened, because she's talking about some change orders. I want to make sure everybody understands. So the original contract was 120 days. So the contract was adjusted from 90 days to 210 days for some work orders, for some change orders, I'm sorry. So we've already went up from 90 days to 210 days. So now we're asking basically 30 days for the rain days, for an additional 30 days. So that'll put them to 275 days of contract time. So I don't know if she's trying to explain the justification for the change orders, but we did add 120 days for those change orders to accommodate for some of the lead time.
Change order, that's just for the amount of conditional days, correct?
Yes, correct. There's no, I don't think no cost, it's actually a negative change order for the days itself. The contract was November 28th, so right now they're already beyond the contract date. So if they don't get the 65 days approved, then they'll be liquidated down. So when's y'all's expected? When's your expected finish date?
As soon as my material comes in, which will be in a couple of weeks, and another week, we finish up those house, we should be finished.
Well, he's about a couple of weeks away from completion.
Yeah, make a motion to approve the change order for Max Underground Construction LLC for an additional 30 calendar days for the 13th Street, Wilson and Nelson drainage improvements.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Moving to public safety, which is considered an act of approving the police chief to award the public safety dock bid to Coastal Superior Dock LLC with an amount of $114,834.49.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I have, Harbor Safety Enforcement Officer Jack McCarty will be speaking on this topic, and I believe we might have a public comment.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Third time I'm here for going out for RFPs. In the past, our bids have been way too high, way higher than I'd like to try to justify to y'all and the taxpayers. $114,834.49 is about the best we have come across yet. This is a second bid from this company, Coastal Piers and Docks. They're doing business as a touches, or excuse me, they're doing business as Coastal Piers and Docks as a touches group back here behind me. This is going to give us, with this, if we approve this tonight, it's going to give us polymer pylons rather than wood. They're warranted for 25 years, so long before I'm gone, or excuse me, long after I'm gone, they should still be standing and something under warranty. And it's also better rated, I guess. I'm not a doctor, I'm just a little end user. Do you have any questions for me?
Do you got an idea about where you're gonna place it, and will it be totally out of the way if someone brings in a shrimp boat?
Yes, so where we're gonna place it, if you're familiar with, Mr. Knight, right there at my dock, or right there at my office, where it kind of like concaves in from the street and goes out like by the boathouse. Basically, it's gonna be that area. None of the shrimp boats really use that area anyways when they come in for safe harbor. I've talked to Cecil with Harrison Jensen Shrimp and a couple of the other guys that are working out there, and they didn't really seem to have any issues with it. Kind of brought everybody into play with us, because obviously I don't want to screw up any of our harbor.
just to note, too, this is a crime control and prevention district funded project.
Victor Rios, 1044 South Commercial. I pretty much answered my question. Thank you, Jack, and I guess Mr. Blanchard for getting some lower bids. My question is, what's gonna be the remainder of the amount, for this? It's 150 was put aside for this. What's the remainder what are we gonna do with that remainder? Is it going back into crime prevention?
Okay, so any other funds would stay there. Actually, the funds don't move until the transaction happens, and then what happens is the city makes that payment, and then the, crime board refunds the city for that expense.
So that $36,000 out of the 150 that was allotted for this project, that's remaining, that's gonna go back, where again? You lost.
No funds have moved, no funds have moved on this item at all yet.
So you're gonna have an extra $36,000? What's that $36,000 gonna be used for?
Whatever the.
Because it was budgeted for 150,000, so the dock is only 114,000, so there's somewhere around 36 and some change. Where's the rest of that $36,000 going?
Okay, I'm not sure that that's what it was budgeted for. I'd have to reflect that. You
I'm
probably
sure.
know better than me.
Oh, yes, sir.
But, any funds that are not spent are under the control and management of the crime control and prevention district.
So it goes back into,
In other words, it
It's never
stays
moved.
in MDD, it stays in MDD, the money is never moved.
oh,
But
and
it's
also
not
only the
that it
$114,000 is gonna
Would
be
move.
taken out.
Right.
You're gonna write a check for that, and that's it, so that the rest of that budgeted money is gonna stay in. Okay.
In crime prevention account.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, for your lower bid too. Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the police chief to award the public safety dock bid to Coastal Piers and Docks LLC in the amount of $114,834.49.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We will consider an act of the mayor and the city council signing the resolution authorizing the submission of the SH Bullet Resistant Shield Grant Program application and assuring that if funding is allocated from the office of the governor, OOG, the governing body will utilize funding in accordance to the grant guidelines.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This was another item for Marcy. It's actually a grant that she's been working on. Post Uvalde, they came up with a program to fund ballistic shields for law enforcement. So we're jumping in on that, opportunity for that grant. Marcy's been working on this, and as is customary with many grants, this does require a resolution approved by the council, signed by the council, so that we can continue moving forward. I think that grant is, over $100,000, and that would outfit ballistic shields for, all the staff, all the officers, basically. We do have some currently, but this is making sure that we all have them on hand and ready to go.
And it's 100% grant.
My understanding is 100% grant, and this isn't the final item either. Anytime we go to actually accept the terms and everything of the grant, we should be coming back to you and make sure that we're all open and clear on that. Appreciate it.
I'll make a motion that we allow the mayor and city council to sign a resolution authorizing the submission of the SH Bullet Resistant Shield Grant Program application and assuring that if funding is allocated from the office of the governor, OOG, the governing body will utilize funding in accordance to grant guidelines.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Now we're gonna go to consider an act on approving the mayor to enter into a joint resolution between Aransas Pass and San Patricio County as part of the emergency management plan.
Mayor and council, so we can be here in front of y'all again. So the emergency management plan is something that TDM requires each emergency management district to have, it can be county or city. It's a very bulky document with lots of changes and lots of committees and lots of headache to go along with it. After Harvey, San Patricio County hired Miss Sarah Williams as our emergency management coordinator. She does an amazing job. She has a real map for these plans. What I'm proposing is that we do away with our emergency management plan and go under the counties. I've helped her over the last few years develop their plan. It doesn't change anything about the way we operate in the city. our EOC will still be the same, our operations will absolutely be the same. What it does is shift the burden of that paperwork to the county. Judge Prince has given his nod, the commission's court will still have to approve it, but, she's telling me that it's all good. It doesn't change funding, it doesn't change anything other than we go under their plan, we get a lot more people's input, and we work on that plan together, and she manages it for us. If for any reason something goes wrong, and we don't like the direction that that's going, all it takes is come back and y'all vote, just redo our plan. And I'll tell you, the plans are templated, so they all very much look the same.
Lynn, one more thing, just for the benefit of the council, is we already kind of fall under their umbrella, so
Absolutely.
can you explain kind of how those requests and events
So,
work?
if
Just like
y'all
Mark?
remember, we've made a lot of STAR requests over the years, where we request items from the state. The big change that this does is I will no longer be able to submit those, but I only submit them to Sarah anyway, and then she forwards them up. In the last couple of times, the freeze, the boil order, I didn't even submit one, I just called Sarah and said, hey, we need this, and she took care of it for us, but she knew we were busy already.
Make a motion to approve the mayor to enter into a joint resolution between Aransas Pass and San Patricio County as partners in the emergency management plan.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Now we're gonna go to city council staff announcement.
Mayor and council, there are some dates, that we, I need to ask you if you're willing to, have a special meeting, on a personnel issue, that, personnel position that we are wanting to fill. The dates are the 23rd of, January, the 27th of January, or the 30th of January. Right now, if I can make a recommendation, but those are the 3 dates, whatever works best for you, that's up to you. The 27th is the one that, seems to work, with the person with whom we are talking. And also that's the date of the award ceremony, so, that may work out if, you decide you like this person, then that person can go to the awards ceremony, and get a feel for the community that way. So, looking at the 27th, but also the 23rd, and, the 30th, and it would be an in-person interview with you. That's the purpose of the meeting. I'm asking further, and it's up to you, that, the meeting be held at 3 o'clock. That way, we'd be free in the evening for that meeting, if you are so inclined. That's what I'm asking, if you can give me some direction on. Depends on your schedules.
The 27th is Friday.
That's a Friday, yeah.
So you're saying Friday at 3?
Well, Friday at 3 for her to come to you, to be, interviewed. That's
Friday's
correct.
fine,
That's
I'd
up
like
to
to do
you.
it a little earlier.
I was gonna say a little earlier.
Oh.
You may not have to fix your hair.
Yeah.
The rest of us might.
Your hair might not be, it won't take a long time to fix your hair for you. About 1 o'clock.
Yeah, noon, one's good.
It's up to you. It'll be fine.
1 o'clock is good for me.
It's a good time.
That's fine, yes.
Excuse me, I didn't hear what position's being filled. I'm sorry.
City secretary.
Oh, city secretary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you okay with that? So I'm looking at 1 o'clock on the 27th then. Okay. She's probably watching this, so, she probably knows right now.
We need to call her for sure.
Okay.
Citizen comments. Citizen comments are intended for the matters that are not scheduled on the agenda. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes and state your name and address for the record. Be advised that the Texas Open Meeting Act prohibits the city council from responding and discussing comments. The law authorizes the following to make a statement of prejudice. Besides existing policy, advise that this subject be placed on the agenda for a subsequent meeting.
Rios, 244 South Commercial. I know it's pretty much a done deal, but I'd sort of like to express how I feel about, patrolling the waters here in Aransas Pass or around Aransas Pass when we have 4 other agencies doing that thing. we're budgeting $114,000 that I feel like should be used on the dirt, where the taxpayers live. Y'all put 3 police cars in the regular budget. But that money could probably went towards these police cars, where the dirt, the ground, where people live, should be the priority. I don't think we should be using money for any kind of water patrol whatsoever. Eventually, I do wanna get there, of course. When we get the hotels, when we get the houses in the harbor, when we get enough marinas where we have 300-400 boats out there at any given time. Used to have 300-400 shrimp boats. We never had no harbor patrol. We only had 12 or 13 police officers back then that took care of the entire city. You remember how the shrimpers were, some of us do. I was pretty long back then. They did just a fine job. So I'd just like to express my feelings on that. I do appreciate that y'all did go and find a lower bid, but I just feel like that money that we're gonna take out of the budget for these 3 new police cars that this money could have paid for, could have gone into something else. We just had a meeting 2 weeks ago about infrastructure for a new subdivision wanting to come in. And the big fight is, well, there's no drainage, the sewer, there's all kinds of problems. That money could have been put into infrastructure so we could bring in property tax. The pier could have waited another year, couple of years. We need these homes and these subdivisions coming in, and we need responsible growth. We need to make sure that we have the proper infrastructure where this money could went towards instead of going towards a boat. I thank you for your time. Thank you for your service. God bless you all. I love each and every one. And my son has something to say too. He'd like to talk about the trash. It's around the city, there's always a lot of trash. He's kind of suggesting that we stiffen up the fines, and then he's got his notes down there. I guess he's saying that those are bad persons that litter, and.
It's not bad, so a long time ago, I remember somewhere that there was all this trash, and I was very sad about that, because plus a person was on a lawnmower, and they were running all over it, and if they didn't think that was there, and if it was invisible or something, I don't think that should be right. And I've been in different places in America, and I've seen that their fines have gone up way more than us. And I think our fines need to go up because the earth means a lot to me. And I know that we have to change the fines.
Mayor, council. Thank you, young Rios, for your passion for the earth, for all of our earth. And I appreciate what you had to say, and I agree with you. I'm Melinda Williams. I live in the city of Aransas Pass, and I have a real estate company, vacation rental company, and I'm a proud appointed city realtor for the city of Aransas Pass. I just wanted to be able to piggyback on what Mr. Rios said. But I also wanted to point out a different perspective that he may not be considering, because I've had friends that it takes that long to be able to get to them, and if they can get to them faster and quicker on the water, because we are a destination place. The coastal bend is a destination place. Aransas Pass is even becoming more of a shining star with all the growth and the movement to become a destination place. And they come down here for what? Water, fishing, tourism,
kayaking, which Mr. Hector Rios has a kayak business too. And so I just wanted to point out that I have had friends lose their loved ones like that because the boats couldn't get to them in time. The water, so those 3 cars that they don't float. Unless there's some new technology coming out, they don't float. I'm all for this boat ramp and I'm all for this progress. Thank you very much, everybody that had a hand in receiving and collaborating and collecting on lower bids and more affordable bids. But I'm all for this for the safety of others as our loved ones. And until you have a loved one that gets lost on the water, you aren't gonna be you're gonna continue to talk about those cars and that type of thing. I think this is the prime time. There has been 300 to 400 boats. I live on that water out there on that bay. Well, actually, I don't. I live at the office, but you get my point. So, I see the boat traffic. I see the lack of care. I see the emergency. I went out there and pulled out people off of that right outside of Bay Harbor right there before you get to the bridge going north. I pulled people off that berm because they don't realize how shallow it is right there. That could have easily been, come out, hit your neck, break it, and you're done. Okay? Well, that's an extreme. However, they could have hit their head, and if people that can get there fast enough from the Brown Harbor that we've been both beautifully renovated and still continue to do so, which I love the walking path, by the way. I just feel like we need to express that, and that's another perspective to why we need that. Okay? Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
President, I just want to mention that this April grant from Brown Harbor already. And last month talked about using San Francisco County Molly inspector for the city. So now this month we're bringing in a boat ramp in Brown Harbor. Just saying there's already one. It's actually anyway. As long as it's not Jackson Prepared money coming out, I guess it's coming out from some other fund, unless it's taxpayer funded too. Anyway, I'm here to talk about the Fourth Amendment again. So, why do people be safe, secure as houses, persons, and papers against warrantless, unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. No warrant shall issue except those particularly describing the person or place to be searched. In this case, I want to talk about Jason Followell's Texas Strong Gym once again. A administrative search warrant was executed on his gym. And I want to remind everybody of the statute, Texas Code of Criminal Procedure 18.105, lists reasons why one of those warrants could be issued. And they include determining probable cause. The magistrate is not limited to the evidence of specific knowledge, but may consider any of the following: the age and general condition of the premises, previous violations or hazards found present at the premises, the types of premises, the purpose of the premises, in the presence or hazards of violations in the general condition of premises near the premises not inspected. None of these in and of themselves give probable cause. These are all factors that the judge can consider when determining whether probable cause exists. Just because someone did not keep their yard trimmed and cut, uncut grass does not give the city the authority to execute a search warrant for other uncut grass in their yard or in their house. And definitely, the police chief does not give you the authority to go search neighboring businesses just because you think there might be violations in an adjacent one. Anyway, in summary, we need to hold the city officials who are more empowered than a single person such as myself. They come with guns and they have full support of the city and all our taxpayers' money. This should be held to a higher burden. They should have to justify their actions and not just go by what they think the statute might read. Thank you.
My name is cjgrisham. I'm from Temple, Texas. Came down here. Y'all have a problem on your hands. You've got a police chief that is going to cost y'all a lot of money if you don't rein him in. You have got a police chief who thinks he's above the law, who thinks the law doesn't apply to him, who thinks the law applies to different people in different ways unequally. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't hire somebody to do an internal investigation, I personally have evidence of criminal activity. Okay? Now, there will come a time where it will come out. It will come out. Y'all might want to fix it first. I should hope that the city attorney's looking into this. You might want to start looking at documents. You might want to start looking at warrants. You might want to start looking at emails. All right? Because it might be better if y'all come out and fix it as opposed to someone in the public coming out and fixing it. Now, one of the other reasons I'm here is I'm the president of Open Carry Texas. And I got here and I see your signs up there that keep law-abiding citizens from being able to carry firearms into your open meetings. Do you think that you are so special that what's good enough for the state legislature, which just started meeting last week, I can walk into a committee hearing, I can walk into my legislator's office, I can walk into a Senate hearing, I can walk into a House hearing because I've got a license with my gun on my hip. Are you better than our state legislators? Do you think you're more worthy of police protection than our state legislators? What makes you so haughty and self-righteous that you can't trust the people who are licensed in this state to keep and bear arms in self-defense of themselves and you and each other? Are you aware that the conviction rate for the law enforcement community is about 1.9%? 1.9, that's low. All right, I'm not degenerating the fine men and women behind me. I'm just telling you it's 1.9%. The conviction rate, and that's felonies and misdemeanors. The conviction rate for a license to carry holder is 0.14%. You can look at this on the DPS website. In other words, you're 13 times more likely to be the victim of a crime by one of these guys, probably Chief Blanchard himself, than you are a license holder. You're 7 times more likely for a firearms violation. And yet, who are you keeping out? The most law-abiding segment of society. I counted yesterday. I've been to 138 separate cities and county entities talking about this. You are one of literally a handful, one hand of city councils and county commissioners that I've been to that are putting these signs up for law-abiding Texas license holders. Why? Because your chief is scared of his own shadow. So please fix that. Stop being afraid of the citizens.
Jason Caldwell, as council likes to call me, community leader and poor people. That's what every single day for the rest of my life. So everything I talk about, I always have evidence to back it, always. So I'll start with you, Carrie Shrubs. Carrie Shrubs, I know you forged, I know Scrubs. I know you forged your husband's will. I know your son signed it. I had it. You're a scumbag. I know I have you on audio recording saying you would help me. You did not help me. And if you want to send a cease and desist, go ahead. I always have evidence. Bring it. And instead of helping me, you turn your back on me. Ram, sewer lines in a bakery, cafe get clogged. We pay for them, guys, not him. Ram, 2016, 2022, fire code violations, Kelly didn't do anything about, either did he, because he's unethical. Sell drugs at the back of the bakery, I got the evidence, bud. You want to do cease and desist? Bring it. Nepotism still in full effect. Cease and desist, can't do anything about it because you know I'm right. Chief Blanchard, code enforcement, send it to my property, wasn't certified, who wasn't certified, you modified the warrant, I got it. Blanchard knows the mayor, nepotism does nothing about it. Knows Kelly has the same infractions he cited me on, he's not going to court. What are you doing about it? Nothing, still sending him to court. Chief Blanchard emailed the judge on my case. Don't know what that means? That's an ex parte violation. He did that, unethical. Chief Blanchard, harassed Corey Elrod, went to his place of business, harassed Corey Elrod, you did it, I have it. Chief Blanchard, 2014, broke into a man's house. I have the video, I have it coming out, of you breaking into his house without a warrant. Fourth Amendment in my book, you don't know anything about the Fourth Amendment. Gary and Roxanne, I'm combining both of y'all because both of y'all criminal trespassing with no evidence. Y'all both probably defame my character. Said I threatened to kill y'all? Really? Gary, get off your phone and pay attention when I speak. I don't care. Deny my Fourth Amendment, deny my First Amendment right. Y'all had an executive session about me on 6/28 right before y'all raided me? Y'all did. I'll get that too. Blanchard, you assume you can intimidate and subdue me, but I'm not a sub. I'm an alpha. You don't even know what a beta is because you are a mega. You know who your betas are? Officer K-Mac, Daga, McCarthy, Prado. Good men, good people. I challenge each of y'all four to stand up to that tyrant. He is a scumbag. You can blow the whistle, he will go to prison. Back me up. The only thing necessary to trump evil is for good men like you to do nothing. Citizens, remember our words when we try to replace these guys. Elections coming up. If he can do nepotism, you don't have to follow charter. We don't have to follow charter. I'm running for mayor. I'm taking his place. I'm gonna back Hector. I'm gonna back Corey. We're getting all y'all out of here. You will be fired. You will be fired. Quit playing on your phone in the meeting. Pay attention to people.
Carol Salinas, I'm a resident of Aransas, Pass. No, I do not like open carry. Moved into Texas, I saw this happening. It makes me very uncomfortable. Thank you.
Boo-hoo. There are 49 other states. I'm sorry, who are you? Why are you talking to me if I can't talk to her? So just don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
You know what?
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
Okay, you know what?
Don't talk to me.
Have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was given, my name is Jack Miller, I just moved to the city, and I was given kudos to the young child over there when my name was called, so, or I don't even know what it was called. But anyway, Master Sergeant CJ Grisham, I think it is.
First Sergeant.
First Sergeant, he didn't mention that. He's the First Sergeant, Criminal Investigation Divisions, retired honorably. Listen to what he has to say, and I'm gonna leave a card here tonight. I've left some of your police officers, who, by the way, did an exceptional job dealing with me when I came in. I test police for a living. I make a really good living doing it. I'm either the most loved or the most hated by a city at any given time, depending on what level of tyranny that you engage in. I could be the nicest guy. I can be the most horrific guy. Ask the police. I've never had to deal with Aransas Pass because I don't get too many complaints from there. But the open carry stuff. Right now, there's nothing stopping from anybody bringing a gun in here, whether you like open carry or you don't. Nothing. Nobody's getting scanned when they come in here. And frankly, I can certainly send people to test it out with the chief's approval. No matter what you put up, I can defeat it. Nothing will stop a gun from being brought in here by somebody who wants to use that gun. And who's going to protect us? You guys? Are you carrying? Shouldn't be. If you're carrying right now with those signs out front, you're violating the law. So I'm going to presume that you guys are following the law and y'all don't have a gun. And then what do we have over here? Chief Pound Cake? Give me a break. What's he going to do? Besides drop crumbs all the way outside while he's looking for the guy that just ran away. And then you got an officer over here looking like Wyatt Earp. What's he going to do? Tell them to put away their guns at the front? That's what they're doing right now, right? I don't have to do that. Even if you have a metal detector, I'm going to come in and beep it. Because I got a monitor on. At least that's what I tell them, and they believe it. But it's small enough to carry a little small 22. And I've done it. And then you got some guy over here, water patrol. What's he going to do? Go get his boat? Run over the shooter with a boat? My point is that I know I'm being funny here, but nothing is going to stop somebody from bringing a gun in here. And if somebody brings a gun in here, there's only one thing that's going to stop them if they decide to use it. Go Google a city council, just type in city council, man shoots up city council. And you can see a horrific video where a guy did just that. And the council people, luckily there were no citizens in there. Luckily the guy didn't have a beef with the citizens, just the council people. But those poor city council people, they couldn't do anything because they didn't allow guns in. I just want to bring that perspective up to you. I mean, think about it. Perhaps what I suggest, because I don't like to just be complaining, I like to offer solutions. Put a 3007 sign up there.
3 minutes.
Oh man, where was my 1 minute warning? Oh man, golly. 3007 sign would kill the open carry, but allow people to conceal carry without anybody knowing. It would just make it safer. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, now we're gonna go into executive session. And it is 6:24, section 551.071 of the Texas Open Meeting Act of Union.
All right, guys, we will be back.
Duty of the attorney for the city council under the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the state bar of Texas, clearly consistent with the Texas Open Meeting Act related to non-brown heart release, Aransas passing compactors, and Hamilton.
Is it adjourned?
Yeah, they're on special or executive session.
Okay. So guys, I was supposed to have a guy give me a 1 minute warning because I wanted to ask the city if they had any policy against female police officers detaining the whole department. Because
You failed us, man.
There's an officer here that
You
looks
failed
just like
us.
that Megan girl last year. I think that's important because that was a huge problem. Correct? So I didn't get
They
to say
hold
that.
closed session in here, so we have to take it up.
Oh.
Oh.
I want to remind about the county, small inspector too.
Comments?
To the gym, you wanna come, dude?
Hi.
They're
How's
gonna
it
talk
going?
at the gym.
Yeah, I'm gonna be giving a rights seminar at the gym.
We're gonna go talk.
So this
So-
is what I figured.
When? Right after this.
You wanna come, you're welcome to come, you come. 350 Southeast.
Hey, we'll be back.
You only need this many things.